If you clicked on this video, it's by chance. This is God's will. God proclaims today, I have acknowledged you at the designated moment. Although my presence may appear distant, be assured that your faith is resonating profoundly in my immediate presence at this moment. Although you may feel weak and overwhelmed, understand that my essence within you is a tangible force that subdues all authority and every principality opposing you. Although you may perceive yourself as confined by suffering and deprivation, I serve as your sanctuary of safety amidst disappointment and sorrow. My encompassing presence envelopes you in my glory, and as a result of that splendor, every necessity you possess is effortlessly fulfilled in answer to your faith-driven supplication. Accept today the abundance of the celestial vaults, as they are reserved for you. I have granted you today the advantages of royalty, for you are a king and a priest permitted to enter my courts at your will. In times of pervasive turmoil and suffering, I will swiftly bestow upon you an abundance of blessings and favor accumulated over eons and decades, enabling your liberation from every trap set by the adversary. Even if you find yourself in dire circumstances, understand that happiness will arrive with the dawn. Although sorrow persists through the night, maintain your focus on the truth that I am the day star emerging to eliminate the shadows of uncertainty and guide you to your refuge, and that swiftly declares your God. God declares that today, the adversary is yielding no results in your life. He initiates his strategy, which ultimately backfires, as I serve as your safeguard and sustenance. I have concealed you in the elevated realms of my splendor, where he is breathless and suffocating in the rarefied atmosphere of my presence. The ambush and trap he devised for you will ensnare him, and he will be halted and restrained by his deceit. Be certain that I am on your side. I assure you that I will never surrender you to the wishes of your adversaries. I engage in your life not due to your flawless nature, but because of the provisions of Calvary, where the shed blood serves as your defense in every challenge you encounter. The angelic forces have today responded to the call of their commander. They will not yield, nor will they show leniency towards the adversary, for I have said, that will suffice. They lurked, scrutinizing your freedom in me, and they erupted in fury due to my affection for you. Refrain from alarm, rather, recline your head and find solace in my arms. Perceive and listen to the celestial laughter resonating within me at the absurdity of the adversary's ineffectual schemes. I shall bring a conclusion, and they will cease to exist. I will distance them from your life, and you will celebrate, for they will search for you and be unable to locate you. They will strategize and consistently arrive in a state of perplexity. Do not fear or feel apprehension, for I am your assistance, akin to a father aiding his child who stumbles and falls. I stand with you to vanquish the enemy and swiftly escort you to safety. Today, God proclaims that his justice traverses the countries, effectuating equity and truth for the righteous. I am navigating the corridors of power to displace the malevolent and provide the destitute, the incarcerated, and the subjugated with cause to rejoice in my benevolence. Do not fear, declares the Father, for the hearts of leaders are within my control, and I decisively guide them as I desire. I establish one, and who will usurp my counsel? I made a decision, and who will revoke it? Their desire for power will remain unfulfilled. Their tools of battle will disintegrate into dust in their grasp. I shall fracture the dentition of the voracious lions. They will disintegrate like snails in slime and be severed from my resources. Embrace justice, advise the Father, and conduct yourself with equity towards others. Observe my handiwork and allow your tongue to adhere to the palate. On the day I engage in combat, flee to the elevated tower of my name for safety. Understand that, before any other concern, you belong to me, and I belong to you. It is my kingdom that governs, not human authority, the matters of state. They will writhe and struggle, yet they will not evade the conviction of my spirit. They loudly proclaim against my anointed, yet they shall not succeed. It is irrelevant if they occupy the highest positions on earth. From the supreme throne in heaven, I will bring them low and execute righteousness for my beloved, declares the Father. Today, God proclaims that His stream of grace is abundantly flowing over you. My inherent disposition towards you is one of compassion and benevolence, even when you resist my guidance. I am not a celestial ogre, scowling at you with a frown of discontent, poised to crush you like an insect. Those who convey such perception misunderstand me entirely. I am your refuge, not alone in moments of success, but also in times of failure. My hand rests upon you, encompassing both your spirit and your soul. I am concerned for your emotional well-being, your decision-making, and your mental challenges. I am perpetually compassionate towards you and continually directing your focus to the simple yoke and light burden. You have inquired, Lord, must circumstances be this arduous? No, they do not. When adversity characterizes your existence, recall that my word states, the path of the transgressor is arduous. Make the necessary adjustments and understand that relief will ensue. The Father asserts that the current state of affairs is a consequence of your actions. To get a distinct outcome, one must undertake an alternative course of action. Approach the negotiation table of my presence, declares God. I am present. I am attentive. I am neither disregarding you nor covertly endorsing your suffering. I continuously alter the parameters of your circumstances to envelop you in my embrace, providing the safeguarding of the cherubim's wings, where you will discover solace and relief from the profound turmoil and vexations that prevail in the external realm of human misapprehension. I embody love, representing unwavering compassion. The intense and savage attacks directed at you are not a result of any scheme I have for you. Approach me today and repose your head upon my shoulders. Ascend into my lap and let your Father alleviate your distress. You are my offspring, and my hug is extended to you on this day. Today, God instructs you to diminish the influence of the natural man within you, allowing the spiritual man, where I reside, to assert dominance. You were not designed for deprivation, decline, or to exist as a victim. When the flesh protests, whines, and moans against the Spirit and my truth, resist it resolutely. As I bore my cross to the hill of Golgotha, so too must you bear your cross by affirming within your soul, I must diminish so that He may amplify within me. I am the supreme territorial spirit, declares the Father, and there exists unclaimed territory within you that must submit and be conquered for my promise and your destiny to be realized in your life. Unday. Before the video continues, please like the video, share it with your family, and write Amen in comment. Understand this, states God, external triumph is unattainable without the internal subjugation of the desires of the body, the requirements of the natural self, and the descent of the irrational, carnal intellect. This encapsulates the essence of spiritual growth. I stand at the door and knock, declares God, while numerous entryways within you remain obstructed to my access. The initiative is yours to initiate and to concede, affirming yes to me even among adversity and challenges. I recognize that you do not consistently comprehend. My methods differ from those of humanity, yet, if you elect to embrace my word and uphold my commitment, you shall never experience disappointment. God instructs today to embrace ignorance within the kingdom. Abraham ventured into the land of sojourn, uncertain of his destination. This method proved effective for him and serves as a life tactic that will elevate you when everything else fails. Understand this, my tranquility will lead you to realms beyond your limited comprehension. Embracing ignorance and relinquishing the need for all solutions is essential for internalizing the calm that transcends comprehension. My tranquility will lead you to realms beyond the reach of comprehension. Be prepared to forego the necessity of explanations, rationalizations, and clarifications for each action you undertake. Be assured that upon your irrevocable commitment to your spiritual journey, I will expand your steps and ensure that even your errors yield positive outcomes. Abandon judgments, analysis, interpretation, and the necessity for understanding. Your mind can comprehend only the thinnest outline of my overarching actions in your future. Restricting your collaboration to solely what you comprehend will preclude you from experiencing the extraordinary breakthrough I have in store for you. To attain what you have never possessed and to venture to uncharted territories, you must relinquish the inherent human inclination to comprehend the reasons and justifications for my requests. The destinies of many individuals stagnate because of their reluctance to venture into the unknown, where my glory is poised to reveal substance and facilitate their success. I summon you now to venture into that uncharted realm of stepping beyond. You will not be disappointed, nor will you falter or fail, as I will accompany you at every juncture. Today, God declares that He has bestowed upon you the promise of the Father. I have bestowed upon you authority from above to adorn you with grandeur, and from that glory, I fulfill every conceivable need you may encounter. Utilize the splendor. Advance towards the splendor. My glory constitutes my dominion, and my kingdom embodies my glory. In my kingdom, there exists complete and comprehensive abundance. You were not intended to be devoid, but to be abundant. The abundance of life, joy, total provision, and irrevocable existence cannot be decreased or depleted in any manner. This is what I am using to clothe you. This constitutes your spiritual attire. This is what I illustrated for Peter, James, and John on the Mount of Transfiguration. When Gideon engaged in combat, I endowed him with my spirit. Upon joining the assembly of the prophets, Saul transformed into a different individual, imbued with my spirit. When David performed before me, the tabernacle of David was instituted. The tabernacle of David is not a site for temporary visitation, but a location for permanent dwelling. David's testimony pertained to more than a sporadic visit. Emulate David's witness by declaring, I will dwell under the shadow of the Almighty. Transition today from mere visitation to true staying. This constitutes your share. This is the promise that was made 2,000 years ago, the promise that is being fulfilled now, and the promise that will be realized in the future. My promise, my power, and my glory have arrived. They are manifesting and persistently cascading onto you to elevate you in life, to transform you into my likeness, and to subdue every authority and resistance from the adversary. Today, God declares, my fear shields you from my anger. By embracing the fear of the Lord, you elevate yourself into my wisdom and a distinguished realm of superiority over every principality and force opposing you. The counsels of the uneducated minimize the actuality of my wrath, although they comprehend and acknowledge its existence. The Father proclaims a profound aversion to evil. My fury compelled the pain of the cross, the anguish I experienced to grant you unrestricted access to transition from a state of wrath to one of complete and unwavering favor. This is not contingent upon your value or achievements, but rather on the efficacy of the cross. 2 millennia ago, I expended the entirety of my wrath against sin and the grave consequences of transgression, entirely for your sake and advantage. Embrace my forgiveness and compassion today, with a thorough comprehension of all that constitutes your share of my benevolence. Within the scope of the cross's applied activity on your behalf, one can discern only the compassionate care of a benign Father. Outside those limits, the terms of atonement, there exists only utter darkness. Envision your role as an ambassador of the kingdom of light, where life is accessible to everyone who wants it. Invite them to come from the highways and byways, for this is the season of the bridal, and the feast of the great God is prepared. The attendants are prepared to present my rewards. Be aware that I have appointed and provided you with the necessary resources. This is your designated day for assignment. This is your season to perform the mission for which I dispatched you into time and space from the realm of unrealized souls, where you resided in the skies before the building of the planet. The Father declares, I select you today, and in your fidelity, I shall reward you and grant you a seat at my table. Before the video continues, I request you to comment Amen and please help me by doing super thanks. Your support means a lot to us. God proclaims today, as I possess time, so do you. Your chronological age is irrelevant to the feasibility of your destiny. I created for you a tree of righteousness, firmly established in my love, abundant in vitality and vigor. The surrounding world scorns the elderly and venerates youth, although I assert that your vitality is rejuvenated like that of eagles. You will flee, and what do you know? Will you not become fatigued? You will advance by taking steps, and you will not become weary or fatigued from the exertion. You are not constructing for a limited number of years remaining, you are constructing for perpetuity, not with ephemeral materials, but with the steadfastness of my essence and the assurances I have repeatedly provided in your life. Venture forth into your day and utilize the time effectively. Seize the time and command it as your servant by the power of the sacrificial blood of Calvary. Understand that when you follow the route that satisfies me and corresponds with my thoughts and emotions, I will support you in your endeavors and accompany you in your departures. My fortune is pursuing you now. My goodness observes the actions of your hands and the movements of your feet. Do not permit prior negative experiences to overshadow the validity of my word. Conditions are transient, while my word endures eternally. Embrace my words and allow them to resonate profoundly within your heart. Commit yourself to being a steadfast believer in faith, rather than a transient advocate who falters in the face of contradictions. This is your designated season. This is your designated season. By submitting and sacrificing for me, you will not experience disappointment. God proclaims today that the veil is torn, and access to the holy place is granted. I urge you to approach my presence with confidence today. You are no longer confined to the mere anticipation of future events, for I have prepared a position for you beside me at the table of my essence. Obtain my stuff today. Consume abundantly and find contentment in all that Calvary provides. Withholding or suffering lacks any spiritual significance, given that the price was paid 2,000 years ago for your receipt and joy. I am guiding you today from the repetitive cycle of religious effort to the advantages of the completed work of the cross. At the cross, the complete adequacy for answered prayer is attained by the exercise of your faith. Therefore, accept all that my Son sacrificed to offer even today. Accept with joy and without expense, for it is my pleasure to bestow upon you the kingdom. The Father states that there exists a body on earth that embodies my mission, of which I am the leader. Assume your role in my broader objectives. You do not exist as an arbitrary life lived in solitude or isolation from others. I am the deity that establishes the isolation inside families, and within my family, there exists a purpose and role for you to execute. When faced with rejection or dismissal by religious ideologies, do not take offense or feel hurt. Continue your journey, for there exists a community in which I will position you, where you will be refined and transformed into a vessel of honor rather than shame. I have summoned you, and I have consecrated you. A ministerial aspect exists in your life, and this is the season for your destiny to be realized and my glory to be manifested in your domain. Extend your hand in faith. Disregard the past. Release old matters, for yesterday's sustenance invariably attracts decay. Accept the freshly made bread of my intentions for you today, and all will be well, with your needs fulfilled as you assume your place among the loyal in my kingdom. Today, God declares that the profound reservoirs of His Spirit are being unleashed beneath you, resulting in an outpouring of His blessings and favor in your life. The siege gates are being opened, as the adversary has retreated. The accumulated wealth and resources that the world has withheld from my people are now accessible to fulfill every expectation. What about those who do not believe? What about people who have succumbed to a mentality of fear? They will witness my benevolence, yet they will not participate, for the rush has commenced and the deluge is upon us. For the skeptics and conspiracy theorists, they perceive only gloom over the land and profound obscurity among the populace, which is their fate. For individuals possessing a discerning faith, they observe only the dawn illuminating the mountains and my formidable army advancing to seize the prey from the lion's jaws, including my little ones from the bear's grasp. The Father proclaims that there is no fear in the kingdom. Love is devoid of anxiety or trepidation. May the paramount principles of love and faith today manifest the essence of your aspirations from the invisible realm into a tangible reality in your life. There exists a location nearby where the plowman surpasses the reaper, and the seeds sown yield a harvest before contacting the soil. Do not focus on the serpent at your feet. Instead, consider the judgment I undertook for you, rendering those entities powerless. Observe and thrive, declares God. Observe and surmount. Perceive through the lens of faith. Instruct your eyes to perceive beyond the circumstance, rather than merely observing the problem. Bear in mind that your location is determined by your focus. Your mental input serves as the foundational material for your future. Do you genuinely desire your life to embody the fear, horror, conspiracy theories, and pervasive falsehoods present in society? Protect your heart and immerse yourself in the teachings of my word. Your future will be assured, and you will inevitably reach your seat of blessing. God asserts that every prayer you present is accompanied by my angels. The fragrance of your prayer nourishes my spirit and causes the doorposts of my throne room to emit smoke and resonate with the manifestation of my splendor acting on your behalf. When prayer emanates from your lips, my angels collect them and present them as glowing coals on the altar of incense before my throne. May they consistently emit a pleasing fragrance in my presence. Eliminate from the essence of your prayer the offensive scent of disbelief and the bitter fragrance of discontent or grievance. May your prayers be filled with worship and praise, like delicious cassia and myrrh, for I take great pleasure in experiencing your persistent and sincere supplications. Be certain that no desire or requirement articulated by you is considered trivial or superfluous in my presence. Similar to their actions regarding Daniel's prayers, the angels assigned to your life will gather your words and expedite them to my altar. There, they serve me and will thereafter be tossed like embers back into the earth, where lightning and earthquakes will occur in the spirit as I mobilize heaven and earth to fulfill your request. Just like I adjusted the sundial for Hezekiah, I will manipulate the fundamental mechanisms of the universe to respond to the slightest expression of trust from you. Accept today the response and the endorsement of the divine. Consistently engage in prayer, intercession, and supplication. By doing so, you accomplish the priestly duty designated to you as a minister at my altar in glory, and you shall be rewarded. Before the video ends, I request you to help me by doing super thanks. Because I don't have house and I have to make my new house.